Hello, everyone in YouTubeville. Um, I'm going to label this one um, Does Smart and Aware Guarantee Success? Being smart and aware, does it actually guarantee you success in life? First of all, for the smart, when I'm talking about smart, I mean, people can have book smarts, right? They've studied what's in the book. And then there's other people have this extra sensory perception. And they're a different kind of smart. Some people would refer to it as emotional intelligence, right? They just kind of exist in a higher level. I would say a higher plane. And the old there's a saying that says that gratitude is an attitude which equals an altitude, right? Because they exist on a on a higher, some people would say to it a higher frequency. They're able to relate to life from a higher perspective, right? Now, being book smart is good. It depends. I mean, you got to be well studied if you're going to be in some subject matter. You got to be well studied, right? But the thing is about a person who's well aware, they can take what they've studied to a whole different level. That's where you would get people who have actually started off some kind of studying in some science, and because of the higher awareness they have, they were able to experiment and come up with greater discoveries, incredible discoveries, right? I mean, some of these guys who discovered a lot of things throughout the past, even Einstein, you look at a guy and you would think he doesn't really look like you would consider the guy with the tie and the shirt and looking all prim and proper. But he had a specific awareness about him that he was able to see through. And some people say see through the veil, the lightness of this life. In light of that, by his awareness, he was able to come up with discoveries that were much more, how can I put, accentuated, much more. It was existed around him, existed around every one of us, but he was able to discover stuff based upon his awareness and his higher intelligence. So therefore, with accuracy, he was able to find out how things worked. That's where he came up with the law of relativity, how everything's also joined together, right? In light of that, where I'm going with this is about this talk, and I hope you don't switch me off at this point here. Where I'm going with this about being smart and awareness as a guarantee you success. In the world that we live in, when I'm talking about the world, I'm not talking about the natural world, it's more I'm talking about how human beings interact with each other and their connection, right? Being highly arrogant, and it could go on different levels, does not guarantee you awareness, does not guarantee you a kind of an emotional intelligence that equates what a true successful person should look like. But nevertheless, they're able to be successful. Now, here's the things I've seen. I've worked in quite different professional environments in my career, in my work, and something I discovered is that the people who seemed to do very well were either dumbed down or they were just simply dumb. They went along with the plan, right? And other people who were running the show was on the same level that they were. And the reason why they get promoted like they do is because the one doing the promoting is one of their family members. And what I mean by family members, one that is familiar like them. Not the family member is the same surname, but the same type of person. If you want to know how the world really works, I'm sure you notice it yourself, is that the more you are like wherever you are, the more you're guaranteed a promotion. when you stick out like a sore thumb. And even though, I've worked in some environments where they have on the mouse pad, they will have all these really nice words that equates with a successful company or successful uh, company principles, or they call it the company mantra, right? In reality, those things only live on mouse pads. They don't. They only live on billboards. They only live on the sign that you see when you come into the front door. They don't live in people, because behind the scenes, what actually is living in the environment is called group dynamics, and it works in different avenues of whatever company you're in. Everyone operates on different levels, their principles, and that principles is what is the mastermind of the environment. My original my original thought does being smart, really smart. I'm talking about really smart, acuteness, accuracy in your brain, the way you work, the way you're quick to pick things up. Does it guarantee success? No, it doesn't. Because with that comes with awareness. See, awareness is when you are aware, people will become aware that you are very aware of them. And what people like to do in so many ways, they like to wear their company hats, HATS. They like to wear their uniform, but it doesn't mean that they're actually successful. And how we measure success, we measure success a lot by the money that we'll make. The, the person who's very aware and acutely smart usually doesn't sell out that easy. And what companies do like, and what people do like in general, they like lackeys. It's an old term for slaves, people who will go for anything. Being aware and being also highly intelligent, it doesn't sit right with you, and you don't sell out that easy. You don't sell it. It doesn't mean, when you are living in, working in any kind of environment, you're probably going to be one of the best workers they've ever had. You're probably the kind of person who shows up every single day, shows up on time, gets the stuff done, and the other people around you, which is, you try not to be aware, because true awareness is not suspicious, but true awareness at some point becomes very aware that, hey, wait a second, there are people around me who don't like that I'm operating on a different level. I'm actually performing, my performance is better than theirs. On that level, they will go into comparison, and they will try their very best to ruin you. Whether you want to accept that or not, you will see it. If you stay long enough in any company and you are highly smart, you're highly aware, you're in where you are because you want to enjoy it. Secondly, because you found a place where you can actually work more by yourself. And if you work within a team, you're working within a team where some of the people in that team are just like you, and they outnumber the dumb ones. See, the thing is about, in any group and in anywhere we are, people will always ask of you to dumb down, to get lower than, and to be on the same level. It's never a guarantee. When you start to rise, it is at that point, and that is where, when awareness kicks in, also the work is going to be much harder, because also something else you're going to have to go into is bravery. You're going to have to be courageous enough to even go and start, as B came by me, start a company on your own, start something on your own where you can make a difference. And that is where life becomes even more beautiful, because you're living with meaning. So the three things that comes into play, you're not only highly smart, you're highly aware, but you also live with meaning. For the majority of people finding success and seeking success, they don't have meaning with it. They just do it because the success guarantees them their food, their clothing, their shelter and their financial security. But for people who find finances another way, using what they have, those finances become a reward. It's actually the money is waiting to pay them correctly. Because, and you know, the things doesn't matter whatever service you go into and you offer with a high level of vibrancy and frequency that you live on, you will be so effective. Your company will eventually grow to the place where people will say, you know what, that company, that person who started that company is because of the reputation, right? Most companies started because of reputation, and they usually sell out, they give it over to, or they dumb down. So I will just end this and say that if you're really highly intelligent and you're highly aware, it doesn't guarantee you the kind of success that you will find in the masses, what they seek for. If you go work for a company, you're either going to be working for yourself or you're going to be really liking what you're doing, and then you're going to find a success. And your recognition can only last for probably maybe a season or 2 seasons. It's never guaranteed. Okay. But I would say this: being highly aware and being highly intelligent does not guarantee you success. At that point, you have to put your gifts into work mode, and say, well, what does success really mean to you? Really mean to you? And it is one thing to learn in life, and we really do require it. We really do require money. So it's a kind of a catch-22. And I would say that never ever sell yourself out for money. And at the same time, money is not something you got to go somewhere and lose yourself for it. Money can be had anywhere because it's being exchanged, and it has its currency, its movement of electrified information everywhere. People have found it through finding gold, buying and selling, speaking, uh, 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 teaching others, making others people's lives better, doing simple tasks, whatever the case is. Money can be had anywhere because it's simply just paper with numbers on it, and it's in circulation. So you all have a good day, and remember one thing: you have to determine what success is to you. And if you're in a company slaving away, and you're a highly intelligent person and you're aware but you're miserable, let your awareness kick in, that because that awareness is telling you you're missing the mark. All right, have a good day, and do like and subscribe. Thank you.